You know, I'm a pretty big fan of The Amazing Atheist. I never miss an episode of the Drunken Peasants podcast. I'm a patron, I've supplied content to the show, and I own like 3 Dinor shirts, black, white, and charcoal gray. However, when it comes to the issue of Trump 2016, TJ, I think you're completely wrong, and let me explain why. First off, I think it's ludicrous to think that Donald Trump, if elected, would ever pull the Republican Party leftwards, as you claim in your video. Now, don't get me wrong, if Donald Trump was in the situation where he was working with a Democratic-controlled Congress, then yeah, that might be a good situation. He would deal with them just like he would anyone else. We'd probably get some good shit out of that. But Donald Trump won't be working with a Democratic Congress. He'll be working with a Republican Congress, one led by Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan. I ask you, TJ, do you honestly think that Donald Trump is so patient that he will take a firm stand for what he believes in and battle Congress at every opportunity, the way that Obama's had to do? I don't think so. Donald Trump strikes me as a very impatient man, and he's not especially principled. He'll be more than willing to sit back and just, ride the plane, give the big speeches, and get the presidential portrait and all the other swag, while letting Congress do all the nuts and bolts, all the dirty work. You know this is true. All Trump would care about is how he can spin it. No matter what Congress was doing, Donald Trump would just, get up there and say, oh, it's great, we're working with Congress, we're doing lots of great things, it's fabulous, we're going to lower the minimum wage, we're going to make it easier to outsource jobs, we're going to take away a bunch of benefits from workers, it's going to explode the economy, prosperity is right over the horizon, it's going to be great, it's huge, trust me, it's great. That's all he would do. I mean, that's what he'd say regardless of what party he was working with or what was actually going on. My basic point is that Donald Trump would probably be the laziest rubber stamp Republican president since George W. Bush, basically. But hey, let's imagine for a moment that I'm wrong. Let's imagine that Donald Trump is just as deranged and ambitious as he claims to be. Let's say that Donald Trump decides to become a vast disruptive force in the American political system, that he's going to get his way no matter what Congress says. Don't you think that Congress would possibly impeach him at the first reasonable opportunity? The Republicans know that Donald Trump is not really one of them. He's an outsider who has bullied his way in. All the old rules of party loyalty do not apply to Donald Trump. You can say what you will about the Republican Party, but even they would not be willing to risk the staggering loss of international prestige that would come from having America suddenly start deporting Muslims, executing the families of terrorists, or, having a president unilaterally send agents into the poultry processing plants of America to round up all the illegal workers and dump them over the border. No, they wouldn't stand for that, TJ. They really wouldn't. They would impeach Donald Trump. Hell, you know who'd get the ball rolling? This guy, your old buddy, Ted Cruz. Yeah, you think he has any loyalty to Donald Trump? When you really look at it, the Republican Party would be overjoyed to have Mike Pence as president. Yeah, President Pence. I mean, he's a company man and a theocrat from Indiana. Hell, he'd probably choose Ted Cruz to be his new vice president. Hey Ted, thanks for leading the charge against Donald Trump in the Senate. You want to be my new vice president there, buddy?
Yeah, Mike, I sure would.
Yeah, TJ. A Donald Trump presidency there's a good chance it would turn into a Pence-Cruz presidency. Do you really want that? Can't you just hear them rationalizing it in this manner? Donald Trump was the imperfect tool that was raised up and used as a sword by the Lord God in order to smite the evil Hillary, making way for God's true chosen warriors, Mike Pence and Ted Cruz. They were raised up and placed in this position by God and Jesus in order to undo the damage that the Antichrist Obama has done unto America. I mean, come on. That fits into their narrative perfectly. Just think back to 2008, when conservatives were perfectly happy to vote for McCain, while also kind of wishing on the side that if old man McCain were to drop dead of a heart attack, that, hey, that's fine, because then Sarah Palin, the Lord's chosen, would be there to take his place. It's basically the same thing with Mike Pence. And heck, maybe this was the plan all along. Once it became clear that no one could get enough votes to beat Trump for the nomination, everyone expected that there might be some sort of catastrophic blow-up between Trump and the Republican Party, that they would, change the rules of the convention to try to thwart him. But That would have been unwise. That would have been a huge, embarrassing public scandal. After all, there's plenty of evidence that Donald Trump never thought he would get this far, and that he doesn't actually want to be president. His wife really doesn't want him to be president. So hey, what if Donald Trump, what if he went to the RNC and said, "Gentlemen, look, I got this thing you want, you weren't able to get it by yourselves, I got a 50-50 shot at the presidency. If I beat Hillary, I'll hand it over to, one of you guys. Who do you want me to name as VP?" And who else but Pence? It would have been unrealistic for Donald Trump to name one of his rivals to the vice presidency. If Donald Trump had named Jeb Bush or Ted Cruz, that would have seemed suspicious. But Mike Pence, go read his Wikipedia entry. He is a perfect, boring, hardline Republican hatchet man. He's against the minimum wage. He's against gay people. He wants to cut funding to almost everything. He's a Christian theocrat. He's boring. He's businesslike. He is the perfect tool that the Republican Party would want to have in office. Why else would Trump pick someone as boring and as unlike Trump himself as Pence? If Donald Trump picked his own VP, it would have been like maybe Chris Christie or fucking Hulk Hogan. But he wouldn't have picked Mike Pence. They're nothing alike. The Republican Party is trying to sell you Trump, but you're going to end up with Pence. Moving along, TJ, I'm also baffled at why you think a Donald Trump presidency would be especially entertaining. Would it really be? Don't get me wrong. Back during the primaries, it was hilarious to see how Donald Trump steamrolled through Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio and all the rest of those jokers. That was funny. I completely agree. But hasn't the shtick begun to wear thin a little bit? It has for me, TJ. It really has. Imagining a Trump State of the Union address where no matter what's happening in the country, he just gets up and says, "Oh, it's great. Country's doing good. Everything's fabulous. I go out. I meet people. They thank me for making America great again. It's great. It's great." That would not be entertaining, TJ. That would be painful to listen to. It's like the second Dumb and Dumber movie. You think, oh, hey, Dumb and Dumber, I like that back in the day. Maybe a second one, that'd be great. No, it's horrible. It's just simply horrible. I don't think Donald Trump would be very entertaining as president. And even if he was, who gives a shit? Are there not enough entertainment options out there to where you want to be entertained by politics, TJ? I remember people saying this back in the 2000 election. People said, Al Gore is boring. Wouldn't it be more fun to elect George W. Bush and listen to him talk like a dumb cowboy and stumble over his words for 4 years? We'll get some great entertainment out of that. Think back, TJ. What great entertainment did we get out of the Bush era? Let's see. We got Little Bush and That's My Bush, and a bunch of dumb Saturday Night Live shit that I didn't even see in the first place and probably doesn't hold up very well. Will Ferrell sucks. The real life is not 4chan, TJ. Not everything has to be done for the lulz. Hey there, Mr. Iraq War vet. I'm so sorry you got your brain blown apart by a fucking IED in Iraq, but hey, here's a DVD copy of Season 1 of That's My Bush. That'll make you feel better. Wasn't it all worth it for all the entertainment we got? This is not a game, TJ. People's lives are at stake. Oh, hey, look at this sick kid. Oh, yeah, sorry, kid, your lifetime cap has been revoked. But isn't it fun experiencing the roller coaster of family bankruptcy? Isn't it great seeing the dark id of America? This is what America's dark id looks like, TJ. It's not entertaining. It's waste. It's neglect. It's soullessness and inhumanity. It's insanity. And I know you're thinking, well, hey, I'm the amazing atheist. I got money now. This is never going to affect me in any sort of way. Don't be so sure, TJ. If Ben ever does go through with his insane plan to fight Brett Keane, the Stallion, afterwards, if he's still alive, he's going to need round-the-clock intensive medical care for the rest of his life. Damn it, TJ, you fat shit. They took away my lifetime cap on benefits. Now they're going to pull the plug on me. All because you wanted to be entertained by Donald fucking Trump, TJ. Fuck you. That's the future you're looking at, TJ. Doesn't seem like much fun, does it? Anyway, all goofing aside, TJ, you are a Bernie Sanders supporter, and I can safely assume that you weren't supporting Bernie Sanders out of purely selfish reasons. If anything, you'd pay more taxes under Bernie Sanders. You must have been motivated by some sense that Bernie Sanders and more democratic socialism would be good for the people of America. Maybe I'm not as cynical, but I don't see how you can whipsaw from Bernie Sanders for the greater good and then suddenly switch over to, fuck it, just let it burn, just let the people suffer. TJ, it's psychologically immature, it's childish. As Sam Harris said, that's nihilism. How deep was your commitment to what Sanders stood for that you're willing to just throw it all away and go in the opposite direction? There's a good reason why Bernie Sanders told you to vote for Hillary Clinton. It's not because he's bought and sold or whatever. It's because he knows how big of a threat Donald Trump is. And I completely understand. Political change is very slow. I'm a little bit older than you, TJ, and in my lifetime, I've seen America change radically in many different ways. If you really step back and look at it from a bird's eye perspective, in the last 30 years, things have changed in America quicker than ever before. It's still not quick enough, I agree. But the real work of changing the country, it's slow, it's grueling, it's incremental, it's not glamorous, but you have to do it. When you say that it might be more useful to burn everything down, TJ, nothing's going to get burnt down. A Trump presidency would be 4 years of being stuck in the mud, with his horrible Supreme Court justices stretching that out to decades of being stuck in the mud. Back in 2012, when the hard-right conservatives were unhappy that Mitt Romney was their nominee, I remember them saying the exact same things that you're saying now. They said, you know what? Fuck it. I kinda hope Obama wins re-election, 'cause if Obama wins, then he's gonna subject the country to so much socialism and tyranny that the people will finally rise up and there'll be blood in the streets. Total chaos that will lead to a renewal. I might even vote for Obama just to burn it all down. That didn't work out well for them, did it, TJ? No matter what happens, the country's not going to be burnt down. It's going to grind on, as it has, for the last couple hundred years. You're not going to get the entertainment. You're not going to get a massive crash. There will be no giant fire that consumes the unworthy. That's conservative thinking, TJ. You're kind of thinking like a conservative. And I know you're smarter than this, TJ. I really do. And if you want entertainment, Jesus Christ. Do you understand how much conservatives hate Hillary Clinton? Wouldn't you, instead of the entertainment of a Trump presidency, wouldn't you rather have the entertainment of, years of Wild Bill videos and Kinky Joe videos where they whine and complain and come up with crazy conspiracies about Hillary Clinton is oppressing them? That, to me, would be way more entertaining. Plus, hey, fuck it, you're going to be in Seattle, TJ. There's going to be more than enough crazy hipsters up there, crazy, weird social justice liberals to keep you entertained and give you fodder for the new show. You don't need Donald Trump on top of everything. For the love of God, TJ, wake the fuck up! Anyway, I'm really looking forward to the new studio. I'm really looking forward to the new Drunken Peasants. TJ, you got a beautiful girlfriend. I hope you have fun over the holidays. And as for us at Automated Thought, we're working on some Drunken Peasants-related content that you might enjoy. Stay tuned for that. I'm out, bitches!